Faces at the Museum, a short photo essay for which I will be pushing Kodak Double XX from its box speed of ISO 250 to ISO 1600. This particular museum was the National Museum of Scotland in Chambers Street in Edinburgh, and the faces in these images are not people but photographs of the exhibits themselves, whether it be the sculptures, masks or stuffed animals. This idea came from a recent visit to the museum where I took a couple of pictures of sculptures of people, and when viewing them afterwards noted that when separated from their crowded display cases, backgrounds and people noise, and viewed in the isolation afforded by close-up photography, they could better take on the life instilled in them by their creators. Anywho, here's the images, sharp, soft, blurry, wabi-sabi. Enjoy. This is an environment which could charitably be described as challenging in terms of the lighting levels, and this is doubly so if you're using film. It's dark in a lot of these exhibition rooms, and there's no cranking up the ISO to 102,000 and then denoising in post like you would do with digital. Here, you have to work within the constraints of what the film can handle ISO-wise. Kodak Double X, or 5/2, to give it its numeric designation, can, according to my supplier, go from ISO 6 to ISO 1600 with pull or push processing respectively. These films were processed in D96 and stand developed for an hour. The ability to push or pull film are handy techniques when your film box speed does not match your available lighting, but it does however come at a cost as it can change the appearance of the film. Common side effects of pushing monochrome film are increased contrast and more noticeable grain, and this is indeed what I found from pushing these films. The grain is absolutely up the wazoo, and zooming into these images shows this to its most beautiful effect, and I like a bit of grain. This larger and more prominent grain, however, can affect the perceived sharpness of an image, as larger grain is less able to resolve fine detail properly, giving the image a perceived softness, although the images were in focus and the lenses are capable of very sharp images with the right filming conditions. The contrast was also affected quite strongly, as we can see in these close-ups. This film, which is contrasty to begin with, is further reduced to largely shadows and highlights by the push processing. These here are some images of a fence and hedge, which I took on the way home from the museum to finish the film, and you can also see in these what pushing the film does to daylight scenes. And note that this was a fairly flat, grey, overcast day. There's no gradual fall off from darker tones to light here. It's practically a straight line in some situations. It does render the tones it does have beautifully though. So that's it for this video. Next up is Kodak 250D respooled motion picture film capturing the colours of the countryside and the city. I'm currently editing that, so subscribe to see that when it comes out. So I hope you enjoyed this video and are having a good day. From a cold but blue sky covered Edinburgh, goodbye for now.